Welcome. Speculation Sunday on a Monday. We have Just Ask Danny in the house.
How's it going? How's it going?
Danny, how are you surviving this heat wave that's going on right now, dog?
It's crazy. We had a high pressure system, I think they said, from Mexico. So it brought with it the tropical heat. So like the humidity. So I was actually at Disneyland on Friday for Disney Lorcana stuff, and I actually almost like kind of passed out a little bit. I was like sitting in the heat all day, wasn't prepared for how hot it was. It was cold in the morning. It was like 60 degrees. Then it got really hot. It was like 95 midday, like at 12, and then all of a sudden the feels like temperature said 100,
Whew.
because of the humidity was like close to 70, which I know is still not like close to the Florida 90%, but it was still getting there, right? Way more than us. We're usually like in the 30s and 40s. So
I'm not used
seven
to
close
this
to
90 plus.
yeah, close to the 70% humidity is brutality here. So,
Yeah, humidity is the ultimate, just wrecks you. It just sucks your energy. You're just done. Humidity's rough, man. Thank you everybody for joining us on this beautiful Monday. I can't believe it. June 2nd. We're in June. Can't believe it. I can't believe we're in June. Uh, Things are going to be kicking off big time. All the summer events at all these theme parks. We got the 70th just going on all cylinders, and then soon enough it's going to kick into high gear more with Walt Animatronics, Small World, and all that. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today, but before we do that, Danny, any content of any form that you're about to drop or just released to let people know?
yeah, I have a new video coming tomorrow, and then I
Nice.
also have a new podcast episode which will be here on Thursday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So don't miss out on that, everybody. Do not miss out. We got to start off with the big banger, Danny. Out of nowhere, it's like, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the evening, and FNAF officially announced. Officially announced Five Nights at Freddy's is coming in a whole new way to this year's Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights in both Hollywood and Orlando. More details coming soon. The consensus, Danny, after talking to everybody, going live, everybody's on the same boat that it's going to be a house. It's going to be a house. What are your thoughts? You played this game. You know the lore, Danny. You're all about the Five Nights at Freddy. Give us your thoughts, man. Give us your thoughts.
This
Your breakdown.
this
What
was
do you think?
my this has been my chase for ever since we talked about it. When we had hints that it might be coming next or last season, or was it last season that we had the costumes in the theater, or was it the season before?
2 seasons ago, last year we got that photo op.
The photo op, yeah. So when the year that we had the suits, ever since then I've been clowning that, like hoping that we could have this as a maze. I didn't know how they were gonna pull it off. I still don't know how they're gonna pull it off. I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be a little bit close to like the Quiet Place, where we have these giant aliens, so they don't really have necessarily anyone puppeteering them. They have them as animatronics. So the this is actually would work so well as animatronics, because it truly doesn't even matter if we see like the parts that make them move, because that's the beauty of Five Nights at Freddy's, right? They are full of metallic stuff. They look like animatronics themselves. Well, they are animatronics that have come to life, right? And so they it works so well as an animatronic. It would have been cool to see it as a puppet, and who knows, maybe they do have a puppet version, maybe they have a costume. I feel like those as costumes would be just so hard to wear.
Hmm.
But at
You've
least
been saying that for a
in
while too.
I know, at least in the settings of Halloween Horror Nights. For the movie, obviously a little bit different, but For this, in the settings of a hot maze, it would feel like that's so hard. But I really want them. You know, one thing that Universal Studios Hollywood does really well, and just Universal mazes in general, is they're really really good at jump scares. Like better than I think any other one. Like Knott's has such great storylines in their mazes, and they do gore really well. And Universal does gore too, but like they're just so good at jump scares. And the whole premise of Five Nights at Freddy's is jump scares, so I hope they can really like translate like the jump scares well, and also like the edge of your seat feeling. I don't know how they're going to bring it to life. I don't know if like it's the storyline that you're the new hired security guard, and like, or you're coming in as a spectator. I don't know what the storyline's going to be. Have you heard any rumors, Mondo, if it's following the first movie, second movie, or video game? Like, what are we doing?
Everybody's on the consensus that it's going to be the first movie, not the video game, the first movie. Let me show you this, Danny. I think I have to refresh. Look at this. Look, they posted on Instagram. Jim Henson Creature Shop. They were just part of the Dungeons and Dragons with the big Xanathar puppeteer that they had. Obviously, this means Jim Henson's going to be part of Five Nights at Freddy. It's kind of weird to post that. So that's cool. If it is the first movie, Danny, how do you feel about it?
It's great. I love the first movie. I just
very
think
different
in general,
than the video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very different than the video game itself. It gave it a little bit more of a storyline. But I think honestly, where Universal won with this is they're gonna win with merchandising. I said it before a million times in every single year we've been clowning for this to come, that like all they have to do is make this into a maze and have it be one of the featured intellectual properties for the Halloween Horror Nights of the year, and having all the merchandise is just going to sell out for it. Like, you know, when they last year was the first time I ever remember like I know they have like I know they've always had merchandise that's been grouped by the different like major IPs, but I don't know if you agree with me, Mondo, but I felt like last year they really segmented the merchandise more than ever. Like we had like a Ghostbusters collection, and then we had like you know, an Insidious collection, and they had like all these things just really separated, like more than I feel like they ever have. So I just feel like we're gonna see a time during this season that like Five Nights at Freddy's is just completely sold out the whole time. There's no merchandise left. So
I've seen in the comments many times already of like, I'm going to buy every single thing. And I'm like, damn, I believe it. You know the big one, Danny? We already have a Princess Peach cupcake, which is all pink and, you know, very pretty. You know this is coming, right? It has
yeah,
to.
100%.
It
100%.
The amount of cupcakes that Universal's about to sell. Like I doubt that they don't do that. They have to do this.
Last year it was the tiny marshmallow man.
Oh yeah.
This is the viral dessert, and you're gonna have to be one of the first ones to get that.
Yeah. It's probably not even gonna be good. It's just gonna be a bunch of like, what is it, frosting or filling, whatever they call it.
It's gonna make you have a blue tongue, a red tongue, whatever.
Poop pink. It's not gonna be good. Super chat. Matthew Vaught. What's up, Monto Fire? Thank you, Matthew. Thank you for supporting the fire, my friend. We also got Sean with the super chat. FNAF, then 5 Fire Thursday gonna be Fallout tickets and tours. Oh my! FNAF, then 5 Fires Thursday gonna be Fallout. What? What's going on here? Is this cryptic talk? Am I reading that right, Danny? I don't know. I'm confused, Sean.
It's funny because everyone was thinking that the static was something to do with Terrifier, and I was like, "Why?" People are so weird. I was like, "What does this static have anything to do with
Everybody was on that,
Terrifier?"
Danny. Terrifier's
And
the
I
first one.
said, and I
First one.
said right away to Mondo, I said, "This is gonna be Five Nights at Freddy's." Because it's the static is everything to do with like you changing cameras in the game,
Yep.
and just like in general, like the security cameras and the static and all that stuff. I was like, this is 100% about that. And you're like, oh well, there's this like TV thing in the first movie, and I'm like, that's so niche. Like, how does that have anything to do with fucking Terrifier?
Yeah, no.
Honestly.
Yeah, it totally makes sense though that the whole static is FNAF. It's just it's a part of the game. It's a part of big time.
Hmm.
Jen says, "I wish it was an interactive house where you get a flashlight or something when you walk through." You know, did you ever do that flashlight not scary farm maze, Danny? Did you ever have a chance?
Yes.
Was it fun? Was it cool? Did you like it? Hated it? What'd you think?
It was very cool. It was one of the coolest mazes that Knott's has ever had. I wish something like that would come back. The hard part is that I don't know nowadays um, that they could do that and like accurately get all those back. Like I feel like people would try to steal them. I don't
Hmm.
know. So it's
Yeah.
it was they were very like high tech flashlights because they were they vibrated really hard, and they also changed from a regular flashlight to a black light, and so depending on what room you were in, they would change, or if you got scared because of a jump scare, they would vibrate the same time that you were being scared, so that it would like it makes you feel like you're getting shocked, and it kind of scared you even more. Um and then in some rooms like um the lights like the lights were on, and then they went off, and then your flashlight would turn to a black light, and then the black light would reveal all this like paintings on the wall and stuff and everything. So it was really fun. It was called Trick or Treat Lights Out, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was one of the coolest mazes. But yeah, that could they could do something like that. I immediately thought of, Mondo and I both speculated. We thought of, well, we just had these two really amazing story-driven, kind of sort of maze-ish experiences, more like walkthroughs. And we thought maybe that the Five Nights at Freddy's storyline would interact so well with that, since it's more of kind of like a first person story driven experience and maybe not translated as well in a maze. So we thought maybe we could see something like a Dungeons and Dragon where you get moved from room to room. Plus, it moves a lot of people through at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So it
Two
might
two
help move
groups.
things through.
Big groups.
Yeah, two groups going through, and it lets them do a little bit more. Spend a little bit more money on some of the props because they can like go all out on these big rooms that rather than like having to constantly do a scene from a scene from a scene from a scene, which might cost a little more money. So I don't know, maybe we see something totally different this year for Five Nights at Freddy. They've been very selective with the way that they're saying it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Dude, Five Nights at Freddy, somebody mentioned a little bit ago, what's bigger, Five Nights at Freddy or Terrifier?
Five Nights at Freddy, because it would
What-
get. Yeah, Terrifier is very niche. I get that there's a huge fan base for it, but you have an entire generation of millennials and Gen Z that grew up with the video game and watching their favorite streamers stream the video game, and then it became a movie, which was like a extremely low budget, very high profit movie,
yeah.
and they're making a second movie coming out. It's like, Terrifier, it definitely blew up, but it doesn't have like the potential for the merchandising, the food, like nothing's going to be as recognizable. Sure, like Art the Clown's face, especially with like the flowers, is definitely like immediately recognizable for a lot of people, especially like who are huge horror fans, but I just feel like Five Nights at Freddy's really attracts everyone. Almost in the same way that like in our generation, Mondo, like The Ring or
No,
um
Danny, I have the perfect description. It's the Pokemon crowd.
Yeah,
Literally.
it's the Pokemon crowd. Like everyone that loves Pokemon loves Five Nights at Freddy's. So
Yeah. Look at this. This is it really stood out to me yesterday. Markiplier, 38 million, 11 million, 44 million, 123 million, 51 million. Dude, just berserk ridiculous numbers. The Terrifier ain't doing that on the internet at all.
yeah, no,
And I'm not
it's
downgrading Terrifier. Terrifier is wonderful, but it ain't
oh
doing
yeah.
that. It ain't doing that, dude.
Yeah, no,
This is just
Terrifier.
one person.
If we do get a Terrifier maze, it'll still be very, very merchandisable, right? Not as, but very merchandisable, and it's gonna have, John Murray's gonna and his team is gonna really have a fun time, kind of bringing the gory scenes to life in those ones. And I think it's gonna be more of like a shock maze than it is like a scare maze. I feel. Uh, Kind of almost in the same way that I felt like the weekend maze was this last time, right? It was more, wasn't too many scares in that maze, but it was like pretty gory for like, the previous, like, it was like the baby, and like he was like his body was being ripped apart. It was like
Chopped in half, literally.
yeah, it was, and it's very like gory in the sense that like I feel like that's kind of would be the new Terrifier
Like a
this year.
burn. There was
So
a burn victim thing. um, where is it? Judy said, "Don't underestimate Terrifier. It's a It's a phenomenon right now." No, Terrifier's huge. Terrifier's huge. I'm a humongous Terrifier fan. It's just Five Nights at Freddy is like it's literally Pokemon. That's the best way to describe it. 5-year-old to 80-year-old, they all love it. They're gonna go nuts. Five Nights at Freddy really breaks into a fan base that could care less probably about Halloween Horror Nights, and they're gonna come now no matter what, just because of FNAF. They don't even care about the other
mhm.
houses, just
It's kind
FNAF.
of like how
FNAF
it's kind of how
merch,
One Piece was for
One Piece, exactly.
like people didn't really care about, there were some people that didn't even care about the rest of the event. They just came to spend time in the One Piece area.
And One Piece made the worst Mexican food restaurant the best. Busy, all super packed all day, even though it was bad food. But it was One Piece, and they didn't care. It, a shock. I don't even know the name of that place anymore. But they made it busy somehow. If WWE and now FNAF come to HHN, there's going to be a brand new audience coming through the gates. Gamers, wrestling fans, streamers. Gonna be insane. Sold out year.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point from Jennifer. If they have a Five Nights at Freddy experience or maze or whatever it's going to be, especially if it's a maze, they're the whole purpose of like the Five Nights at Freddy streamers was having their reactions to playing the game, and the game is full of jump scares, and they're playing with headphones on, so like people were watching to see their favorite streamers get scared out of their mind, right, and just lose it. And so like I feel like the Universal, we might even see a whole new crowd, Mondo, at Media Day, right,
Yeah, for
getting
sure. Video
invites.
game people.
Yeah, the streamers literally live streaming their walkthroughs of Five Nights at Freddy's to like get their reactions of being jump scared in the maze as well. So, like it could be a whole new thing for them. And I think that's kind of what they were doing too with FanFest nights, is they got a whole new audience that really wouldn't go to Universal, but we're so excited to come and so excited to buy the merch, right? You are a testament of just how much Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece sold out all of their merch for FanFest nights. There's a huge following for Back to the Future, but all that merchandise is still around. It's the Jujutsu Kaisen and the other One Piece stuff that's sold out.
The oversized hats, they didn't even last. I think beyond the first 2 days. I think they literally lasted 2 days, and that was it. That's why I bought both the Chopper and the JJK, because the lady that day was like, "Do you want to buy the other one or not? Because you're not going to have a chance again." I was like, I only wanted to buy one hat, but sure, I'll buy both because I'll never see it again. And I never did see it again. She was right. She was right. Um, for Five Nights at Freddy, Danny, are you okay if it's like not scary? That'll be like the last thing I'm gonna talk about with Five Nights at Freddy right now. Are you okay if it's like not scary and just kind of more of an immersive experience, or do you feel like it has to be scary, jump scare, blah blah blah? You know
I
what
I feel like it has to be scary, but honestly, I feel like just being able to experience it and immerse in it would be probably just enough too for a lot of people. Um, I don't want to assume it's going to be a maze, right? Because just because the verbiage of all the stuff that they shared, and even like
a whole new
the
way.
yeah, experience it in a whole new way. The only thing I could think of is like, you know, they do mean a maze or a walkthrough experience, because right now all we've ever experienced Five Nights at Freddy's through is a movie and a game. So like experiencing it in person is like a different thing. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But you know, I think there's a few clues, right? We have the Jim Henson, you know, why are they sharing that?
Yeah,
So
why?
and
Do I
even if
have,
it's like a one
oh,
room experience, even if it's like a one room experience that you walk in and it's like, you know, a bunch of people jump into the room and it's like you're being briefed as the next security guard, just like the video game, like that could be fun. I don't know. It just like any way we see it come to the event, I'm excited. I've been waiting for this personally. And I know my friend Ashley, she's been waiting for this too, so I'm stoked either way.
um, R2D2 Crystal. Let's go. I have a month. Yay. Love the dang stream. Thank you. Um, gosh, I feel like I could just talk Five Nights at Freddy for a long time. Last one, Danny. If there's one merch that has to come, that it would be stupid for them not to do, what is that one merch? Five Nights at Freddy.
It's without a shadow of a I mean, we got a couple things going on here, right? Two things based on the success of the colored Yoshis on the keychains. If they don't replicate that with all the characters from Five Nights, that's a missed opportunity. But also because of the whole like Labubu trend and like
Mm,
people just wanting like little plushies to hang on their bags. Like we need plushies of, you know, of Chica, of Bonnie, of, you know, Fozbear, all of the
and
Foxy, all of
Universal
the
might as well
characters.
do it as a blind box, right?
I mean, they could, but like I think just the plushies themselves, like as little keychains, would do so well. People would want those. Those oversized hats, those did really well. So they could have one of, you know,
Wow.
of like kind of like a scarier version of like of Fozbear. Kind of, you know, it works well. People would
Sold
want to wear
out.
that.
Just boop. Dang, I didn't even think about the oversized. For me, my mind always goes to popcorn bucket, Danny. Everybody, for whatever reason, loves buying popcorn buckets.
And it
Uh,
would be that if we got a popcorn
if
bucket,
we got a popcorn bucket, what would it be?
it'd be the cupcake without a shadow of a doubt.
Damn. Do it, Universal. And if Universal is listening right now, whatever you are gonna buy, like triple it. Just triple it. Just triple it. If you're gonna buy 50,000 of this, just triple it, dude. Just triple it. The last thing you want is Five Nights at Freddy fans coming in October and everything's sold out. You know what I mean? Like that'd be terrible. Because yeah, these people are gonna go hard. And I can only imagine with resale that too. Everybody's gonna be buying stuff. All right, let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We'll get into Q&A as well. But I want to get into. We're pretty much in Halloween season. Um, where are we? Where are we? Hold on, Danny. Let me bring this up. I got to go to my Twitter.
While Mondo's bringing that up, make sure everyone has liked the stream. Go ahead and hit the like button on the stream if you haven't already. And if you're in here and you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed too.
I'm almost there, Danny. I'm almost there. It's right here. We got to update all the way at Not Scary Farm. Not Scary Farm. What happened to Ginger Snap? This is a picture from Sammy Land 6, so credit to Sammy Land. Things are getting very interesting.
It's looking more and more like an asylum to me.
Why does it look like an asylum, Daddy?
a big brick building with metal windows and bars on the windows, and then not only that, it's setting up well for the big giant metal archway that goes in between those two poles that says Arkham Asylum.
All right, let's go into hypothetical, pure speculation here. Say this is Arkham Asylum.
Mondo's gonna be there every week.
Oh, dude, I'm wearing Batman right now. I'm wearing Batman. I was just at Six Flags. Say this is Arkham Asylum. How is that gonna fall? How are the dominoes gonna fall at Not Scary Farm? Is the community happy? Are they mad? Is this a good thing? Bad thing? It doesn't matter. Give us your thoughts, Danny, because this is a shot heard around the world. IP coming back to Not Scary Farm. You go, Danny. You go, man.
I think it can be received either very well or very poor. It'll probably receive both ways, right? Some people will love it, some people will hate it. People that love the original storyline, and it's true, Knott's has such a deep lore of Scary Farm and its origins, but I think that really only truly applies to Ghost Town. And I feel like they have to leave their lore in Ghost Town. So any maze that comes to replace the Origins
Grimoire.
maze, the
Mesmer.
one that goes to replace Grimoire, like they need to kind of be within that universe that's original to Knott's, so that it makes some more sense, right? Like, but it's like when you think about all the other mazes, like that we have outside of the Ghost Town area, they don't have anything to do with Sarah Marshall or anything like that. Like Shadowlands and Mesmer, like has nothing to do with any of that stuff. They fit the theme of the area that they're in, which I do like. But the mazes backstage really kind of have their own life and they can be their own thing. Like Widows was different than, Dark Entities, which was in space, and like Waxworks, which was like a wax museum. So like everything's kind of all over the place. So I feel like the backstage area is really kind of their place to be creative. So I
Do
feel like
whatever
as
they
long as
want.
they keep, yeah, I feel like as long as they keep the IP mazes kind of confined to the backstage areas, and then the mazes that are in park, in world, in their specific themed areas remain on theme, I think people will really like that. And even if they can fit some of the intellectual property into the themes of it all, like with the Goring 20s, like maybe they can fit intellectual property from Batman into that somehow. I don't know, but they could do some fun stuff. But I think as long as it stays in the backstage area, I think people will like, that's kind of like their compromise, that they'll be okay with it. And it almost, if you think about it, pays a little homage to the OG maze that everyone loved that used to be in that space, right? The other maze that Paranormal Inc. was about an asylum as well. And that was in that spot before it became the Bloodline maze. So
It's
maybe
true.
that bodes well for it.
What about the aspect, like if it is Joker and possibly villains, like where how do you feel? Where do you stand on that? Because we never had that kind of stuff at Knott's, Joker.
Yeah,
What other? I don't know what
I
other.
don't mind it. I don't mind it as long as they're the Knott's creative team does really well building mazes, so obviously. So if they're bringing that energy to those properties, that's great, right? That's what we were getting at Horror Made Here on the Warner Brothers lot, right? Six Flags doesn't do very well, in my opinion, on bringing their Fright Fest stuff to life. You and all the other content creators can try to convince me otherwise, Mondo, when you should put on your videos and stuff talking about how good it was.
No,
To me, all of it looked
I hate it on
terrible.
Stranger Things. I hate it on Stranger Things day one. I was like, I don't know what I just walked through.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm okay on any of those things, and the Saw maze didn't look very good either. So if someone else like Knott's, who has a really awesome team who does really well at this, can do it, and it'll help them bring in maybe some of the crowds that might have gone to Halloween Horror Nights, or maybe there's like Halloween Horror Nights loyals that won't ever consider Knott's, but then if they get an intellectual property maze like this one, they're gonna be like, okay, we gotta go see that one because I was such a huge fan of Horror Made Here in the Warner Brothers lot. I want to relive that again. So like that could be a plus for them as well. So we'll have to see.
We got a super chat from Brian. We are gonna have a lot of clowns this year, right? Terrifier, possibly. This. um, Thank you, Brian. A lot of clowns. I like clowns. I'm on board with the clowns. Uh, the way I feel, uh, yeah, Bob Booker BTA, Officer Mooney loves clowns. Yep. The way I feel, this is just opening the doors to fans that they don't really consider Scary Farm, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, I love Batman or Batman villains. I'm going to Scary Farm. I want to check it out." And with what we saw with Halloween Horror Nights, how they didn't do merch for uh, Texas last year, I feel this heavy hitter right here, if it is Batman related or villains, Knott's is gonna go nuts on merch, shirts, hoodies, socks, board game. I don't even know what else they're gonna do. They're gonna go hard, pins, all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm a believer. Um, I am. This is one of my most anticipated houses right here, especially with what they did with Widows right across. The team of Scary Farm, they're setting the bars high now, very very
Mm-hmm.
high, and I can't
Dude,
wait.
what a
Oh,
dirty corner that's gonna be.
what I forgot to say, Danny. I talked to a lot of people at Monster Palooza, and one person, he was saying that, well, if it is say it is DC, they do a lot of crazy stunts and shit in this maze, and bungees, people flying over your head, people flying over your head in darkness, people flying
Mm-hmm.
wall to wall. They do a lot of crazy stuff. So there will probably be a lot of crazy stuff again in here. This is the Scary Farm playground right here. This is the jungle. Welcome to the
Yeah.
jungle.
If it is Arkham Asylum, I would love for them to take the opportunity to bring back the Paranormal Inc. pre-show because I felt like the pre-show was so cool, and also the fact that there's a potential that your group could be split up. That was fun.
Yeah, I love the group splitting up thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the coolest things. Uh, Hold on real quick. I was just putting in the comments. Our Knott's adventure. In other Knott's news, more Montezuma track was dropped off today. Any photos? I want to see photos. I want to see
Mm-hmm.
photos.
I think honestly though, like just to break down this whole conversation, like this could be a good thing for Knott's, and they
Really
they
good thing.
do a lot of things. They do a lot of things well that Universal doesn't, right? They do scare zones better than any of the
Number
horror
one scare
offerings.
zones.
Yeah,
Untouchable.
the best scare zones, the best atmosphere. I've said it a million times in every video I've ever made, every content I've made. Like, you don't even have to go in the mazes at Knott's to have fun. Like, you really don't. You can,
You could
but you
just
don't
do
have
scare
to.
zones and have the time of your life, literally.
Yeah, especially in Ghost Town, like, and truly no other park really does that. It sounds like they're gonna try to recreate that experience at Horror Unleashed in Vegas, because they mentioned that like all of the common spaces would also have like atmosphere entertainment and like a horror atmosphere kind of mixed in outside of the mazes. So that sounds like it's doing that. And Halloween Horror Nights does do it to an extent, but there's like big areas where they don't have that, right? They have like roaming chainsaw games, but that's different than like a themed scare zone area. And typically we only see that on the upper lot and like at the exit of like the little Europe area, at the back over there, the Parisian courtyard. So it's I think Knott's could do really, really well with having something like this, and and then letting other people see just how good their horror event is.
Yeah, Scary Farm, I'm so hyped. Uh, I can't wait till we get news about Nightmares Revealed. We've heard nothing. There's no date for that, especially how it's going to blend into Midsummer, because Midsummer is really late this year. It's in August, late August. So we'll see. We'll see how all these events are going to happen. Um, I want to move on to Disneyland. Let's talk some Disneyland. Got a new dinosaur. Rex arrived. Good old Rex from Toy Story. Meeting and greeting over there at the Pixar Promenade. Um, is somebody people were saying that it's like 30 years of celebration of Toy Story, and that's why Rex came, or was Rex just part of the plan eventually? Like, this is kind of random to me.
It does seem like a random kind of drop to me as well too. It's a really cool costume implementation, honestly. It works very well, and it doesn't look like as an operator in the costume, it doesn't look like it's too difficult to uh to maneuver. So they I feel like the Sullys and the Beasts are more difficult to wear than something like this. And you would think, just by sheer, what you think of Rex being, would be hard, but like the arms are like the human arms still. The legs look very movable, and then the rest of their body's kind of inside, and who knows, maybe there's even like cooling fans inside of it because the head is like hard, you know what I mean? So
It is for sure hot in there.
yeah.
Pixar Pier is notorious for just being hot, hotter than Little Mermaid area. Oh, it's always hot, and I don't know why. It's like hard to get water over there too. It's not Water's not very accessible in Pixar Pier. You kind of have to go to Boardwalk Pizza, like that. That's where you get water, like a cup of water. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to meet Rex on my next Disney trip. I feel like he comes out kind of during the midday, like 1 o'clock ish or something. Uh, I didn't see him on the app, so there's no way to be like he's gonna be there at 2. But I want to see. I want to see Rex, man. Um,
Arnott's Adventure Mondo, by the way, before we transition to Disneyland Mondo, she said that they couldn't U-turn in time, but they were crane lifting the pieces behind a tree over in the La Palma parking lot.
mm, does that mean like they're trying to build whatever the heck they're trying to build in the next couple months, or this is like December? You know what I mean? Who knows? It's hard. Knott's construction. You don't know nothing. It's hard to know anything. Um,
Yeah. And
let's
then
bring. Or what were you gonna say, Danny?
before we transition to Arnott's Adventure, said Midsummer Scream is August 15 to 17. And her guess is that the Knott's event will be the 21st.
So after.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, we're getting late, super late. Everything. Oh my gosh. Um, I want to bring this up. Let me bring this up real quick, Danny.
Oh, and by the way, Mondo, Toy Story came out in November of 1995, so this November will be 30 years, but they didn't really I personally didn't see any post specifically tying it to being a 30-year anniversary,
Yeah, I
you
just
know.
saw like someone on Instagram mention it, not Disney themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to bring this up. Why hasn't Pride Night sold out? They always do. Disney needs new After Dark event. Let's talk about that real quick. Uh, Pride Night, I feel like it's been on sale for a minute, and they truly aren't sold out. The 16th and 18th. Um, I want to go on the limb. I've been an After Dark hater for a minute. Do you think the formula has just crushed people, Danny? People are just over the current formula of these After Dark events, or people are like, I already did it. I don't want to do it again. Like how do
I
you
think it's
where do you
a
think it's falling?
I think it's a combination of both. Plus, fan fest nights. Like people saw an After Dark event that went until 2 in the morning. That was like 6 plus hours.
7
Um,
to 2, 7 to 2.
yeah, that you could enjoy for as low as $70, and this is a
Damn.
hundred. This is as $100 more than that. And if they've already done it before, which we've had 2 years to do it, I've done it before. Pride Night, Mondo's done Pride
I've
Night
done it.
before.
Yep.
Like, I don't really have an incentive to spend $170 to do it again. I know people go to like Pride parades and Pride events every year, but typically, those don't really cost anything. Some Pride events do, like if they went to like West Hollywood Pride or something, depending on which venue you're going to, it might, but every single Pride event typically is going to have like new live entertainment. It's going to have, a parade that's going to change or something like that. And this is, when you look at the description of it all, it's pretty much reading the same, right? It's not reading any different. So I think it's just a combination of people have experienced it before. We had really great events that people have gone to, like FanFest nights, and then in addition to that, it's just hard for a lot of people right now, right? And spending $169 for a 4-hour party, when you're already a Magic Key holder, isn't really something that a lot of people can swing right now. And if they are, they're gonna have to be a little bit selective, and they might be thinking in the future, like, okay, well, I'm gonna want to do Halloween Horror Nights. I'm probably gonna maybe want to do Oogie Boogie Bash. So I don't want to spend another $170 on this event because I'm gonna need to save that for Oogie Boogie, or I'm gonna need to save that for opening night of Halloween Horror Nights with like Express or something.
And,
So
and HHN tickets are on the verge, on the verge, Hollywood and Orlando of being announced and then being sold. Like any day now, that stuff's gonna come out for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, because Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, the tickets or the event starts in August, and it's not late August. It's like
Like the
it's like
17th or
mid-August.
something. Yeah.
And that's just around the corner. So yeah, there's like, I think it in this instance it's just like people are making a decision, and I think just financially right now a lot of people just really can't swing a ticket that expensive for an event they've probably already done. And that definitely applies to me, right? I can't afford to do these After Dark events, um you know like over and over
And,
and over again of the ones I've already done. So
and like I feel like FanFest changed things, Danny. I really do. Just because like FanFest almost had nothing to do with the theme park itself. It was these unique things that were only offered in the FanFest world. Because I almost want to say I did maybe like 3 rides during all of my FanFest, and I went 9 times. And 2 of those 3 things were probably Jurassic World. That was like the only ride that I did. Uh, when you go to a Disneyland After Dark event, I always get hit with well, there's low waits on rides. That's value. And I'm like, that's true. That's true. But a lot of people that go to these things are Magic Key locals, and I don't know. I don't. I. It sounds weird to say, but like I don't think the idea of low ride wait times is really selling these after dark events like it used to. Uh, I think Disney, as as weird as it sounds, I would like story based stuff to start coming alive in after dark event. Uh, it's really hard to do something similar to what FanFest did, but Disney is a storytelling company. It's right up their alley when it comes down to storytelling. So I think more unique stuff that involves storytelling, I think it would go a long way in After Dark events because it's very unique. If they do something cool with they have infinite brands and movies. It's insane. It's insane what Disney could do. They got a lot
Yeah,
of
and
power.
Halloween 365 too, Mondo brings up in the chat. Typically, Oogie Boogie tickets have gone on sale in June. So
Yeah,
you're gonna be buying you're
and
gonna be
Oogie
buying tickets.
Boogie's gonna be like 180. You already know.
Yeah, probably 200 on some of the October nights. 200 something.
Woo! $200. Yeah, people love their Oogie Boogie. For that's one that for whatever reason it just sells out. People want the Halloween Disney. We got Samuel Delgado. Let's go. 33 months. Wow. Samuel, 5 fires. Hype for HHM. We need more announcements. It's kind of hard to be like, we need more after 5 nights. That's as good as it gets. That's like peak. I don't know. Terrifier would be nice though if they just followed it up. They followed it up. FanFest gave you more hours. Also, 7-2. You got 7-2. Pretty insane. FanFest was a storytelling and creative masterpiece. It was just ridiculous. All right. That's it for that. Talked about After Dark event. But thank you, Samuel Delgado with 33 months. I want to shift over and where is it? Where is it?
If they made these After Dark events like $75 or $99 for AP holders, they would sell them for sure.
Oh, I would go, even if it sucked. $70? 70 bucks. $70 to Magic Key is perfect. These people are going to spend money when they come to these After Dark events. They want to try all the foods. Yeah. I really wish it's just a prime example. If you had a annual pass, you could literally upgrade for $50 to do FanFest. That would be really cool if Disney did something similar to that, where, hey, you're at Disneyland, here's a $70 ticket to Pride Night or Star Wars Night, whatever the case might be. But Disney, they rather give the tickets for free to cast members. So that's how that played out. All right. Anything on your mind, Danny, that you want to talk about, or any
For
of the
Disney?
theme parks? No, just anything. Yeah, Disney or Universal, whatever.
Well, Knott's Adventure brought up a good point I wanted to talk about before we leave Knott's Berry Farm. We're on the cusp here. We're just about 10 days away from Ghost Town Alive and Summer Nights at Knott's Berry Farm. So that's exciting. We'll definitely be trying to do some of that stuff. I know I'd like to do some Ghost Town Alive for sure over at Knott's. Do we typically see special foods, Mondo, available during the day, or is it just when Summer Nights begins?
I'm gonna say it's just all day. I don't even know if they're gonna do boosts this year, Danny. Like my heart wants to say I don't think they're doing boosts, dude.
Is there a media event that like highlighted the foods and stuff?
I haven't got nothing.
What are Knott's Adventure?
Hey, no, my bad. I take it back. They sent out a media email, and I don't think there's food booths this year. Maybe our Knott's Adventure could chime in on that one, but I don't think there is. Because usually Summer Nights has food booths. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to bring up the email right now from Knott's.
Can you bring up Arnott's Adventure Instagram?
The food is all day. No booths or tasting cards this year. I knew it. I knew it. Uh, yeah, I remember reading it. That's why. That's why I was like, wait. It like clicked in my mind. Our Knott's Adventure. Let me go to her.
Because I know we shared some of the food already on a previous live stream, but I just kind of wanted to revisit some of it so people could see kind of some of the stuff we can expect. There looked to be some pretty good ones, especially like the pizzas and some of the other things like the Frito pie and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to some of it. I know that that was a big hit during Boysenberry Festival, and they're bringing it back for in a new variation, a strawberry variation for summer nights. So, oh yeah, we saw that one, the tahine funnel cake.
a mango tahine funnel cake
With chamoy, with chamoy.
with that chamoy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna be good, but we'll try it. Dude, Knott's always goes hard. Their summer they go hard. This is just kind of like the sweet treat side, but this is more the food. Um,
And then she has the food guide there next to it, Mondo, the other post.
damn. I just had dinner, but I'm looking at this food. What is this? Is this like
The
Mediterranean?
trifles.
No, at the top, Danny. Wow, where in the fancy is that going? Oh man, this is very unknots kind of food. I feel like it looks great. It looks great. It just man, they got a lot of options. You know, one thing I'm hearing that's been happening a lot lately is not all the restaurants have been opening at Knott's. I think it was Boardwalk Barbecue. For whatever reason, they're not opening it up all the time. I don't know if it's like a Saturday, Sunday kind of thing now, but yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I want to watch the 90s rock show. Our Knott's Adventure also posted this right here, which is entertainment schedule. And it starts June 9th. Wow. I'm just looking for Thomasina is going to be the big kickoff. I'm looking for 90s rock show. We got to wait a little while for that one. Damn, look at all this entertainment coming to Knott's. Dude, the Doo-Wah Riders. I think I remember them. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming to Knott's. A lot of live bands. That's the big one. Live bands. Western Day at Knott's is June 15th. Never heard of that. Never heard of
Never
that.
heard of that.
They were open all day today. They're transitioning to summer, so more places are open. Okay, good. This was last week that I was talking about. Um, trying, man, there was like something I really wanted to bring up, and I can't think of it right now. Anything else, Danny, on your end before we go to like a Q&A?
No, not really. We're kind of in the weird spot with Disneyland. We're kind of waiting on things. We still got, all the 70s stuff, of course, going on. The one thing it looks like, we had heard rumors that the Earl of Sandwich permanent location is gonna open, in fall. And having seen it now, this last week, they're really moving on it. Like they were in heavy construction mode in the middle of the day on that Earl Sandwich location, and it looks basically completely shelled out. And they're just going to start putting walls in and all kinds of stuff. So I would say that the rumors of a fall opening seem pretty reasonable. So we're probably going to see the La Brea Bakery location close pretty soon here, and they won't have to operate that trailer for very long. So I thought that was going to be like a really long time they would have to operate that, but I feel like they're moving faster than we thought. So it'll probably only be there for, you know, the rest of the summer through the end of fall. Is my guess.
Um, do you think Disney announces anything?
I don't know. I don't necessarily know that they announce. Well, they'll certainly announce an opening date when they have one. I think the more important thing now is that when it comes to closing stuff, Disney's not really good at like sharing that kind of stuff. So I think we're gonna really have to rely on like people on the ground to know when the La Brea Bakery closes, and when we start to see walls go up around ticket booths 7 and 8, because that's when they're gonna start destructing all those buildings to start building Portos. And that'll be a big move when that happens. And I just don't think that Disney's gonna say, "Oh, Earl of Sandwich is closing on this day," because it'll cause confusion because Earl of Sandwich is still open, right? And so it's gonna have another location. So I think they're just gonna quietly close it. They're not gonna like make it a big deal.
um, Danny, I got to bring this up. I got to bring this up. Theme Park Obsession posted this right here. Matterhorn goes down for refurb a lot because of its age. But do we think her days are numbered? Do we think it'll be around for another 10 or 15 years? Or will it receive a major infrastructure upgrade? Um, Obviously, I want to talk about that. But the main thing, too, I want to talk about one of our good buddies. He said that what he thinks is going to happen is Matterhorn's going to go down for like 2+ years in the near future. What are your thoughts on that? Because
I said the same thing to you when we were there in person. I said I'm off. I mean, I didn't even hear whoever that is that you were talking to, but
it starts
I
with the
said I'm
J.
in.
Our good buddy.
I
Yeah.
I'm in full support of the Matterhorn closing for multiple years, and being completely stripped down to the metal structure,
Damn.
and
Redo everything.
and just completely redo the mountain, in a way that pays homage to the old one. The ride is still there, right? The tubular steer roller coaster, nothing happens to that. Nothing happens to the main structure itself. Maybe other they can, since it'll be exposed, they can maybe re-weld some things and kind of strengthen it up a little bit for the next 100 years or so. But the structure itself has a lot of wood, and wood plus water features over the span of almost 70 years for that ride. Don't bode well, right? You got water. You can't fully keep. Anyone who owns a house or who's ever lived anywhere, that you can't keep water out for very long on something that's aging, right? Water will always find a way
And just
in. So they
wreck
can
it.
do their best. They can do their best to create a waterfall and seal off the water from the outside, but settling and earthquakes and winds and sun damage will cause the structure to a little crack to form. Water will make its way in, and then the water is, you know, uh, getting on the wood, and then wood rot happens, and then the structure itself starts to, degrade a little bit. And the Matterhorn itself is made of largely of large metal structure, right? So it's not compromised in any way as far as like collapsing. But it's just the little details that, the little bump outs that have like that create a cave, or
Yeah.
the little stalactites and the stalagmites
Oh,
that are in there. Like
over.
those are like those have wood, like there's wood structures built around them, and with like the rebar and the cement and everything that's put on top of it. And so those are the ones that they're constantly having to repair, and those can be dangerous, right? Because if they're shifting or moving in any way, and you have roller coasters passing by it, roller coaster vehicles, then it could becomes a danger. um so I just feel like with this ride, I would be okay with it closing for a really long time, as long as they,
we're
and then
we're
just them
seeing it
redoing the
right
structure.
now. We're seeing it right now, Danny, with Big Thunder in Walt Disney World. Literally.
Yeah.
long ass refurb.
We saw it for Space Mountain. Space Mountain was closed for 2 years, 2+ years. When they tore out the old ride that was um, becoming worse for wear. It was not doing good. I think they even had an accident on the old Space Mountain track,
We're
and
talking
it
about
was
Disneyland.
yeah, yeah, and they didn't debut. Space Mountain sat closed and non-operational for like around 2 years, I want to say,
Damn.
and they didn't have a Space Mountain at all, and that was part of the 50th anniversary. Was they reopened a brand new Space Mountain, which was completely new track and everything on the inside. So if they have to do it for a ride like that, they can, and they can make it work somehow, but they have to preserve it they have to preserve the role. Like when you look at the historical landmark of the building itself, the historical aspect of it is on the roller coaster. It's not on the Matterhorn. So it's on the tubular steel roller coaster because it's the first roller coaster to use tubular steel. And like every roller coaster nowadays, for the most part, uses tubular steel. The Matterhorn was the first one. So that's the historical part of it. And if they do like a long infrastructure closure, they wouldn't really have to change the Matterhorn roller coaster all that much. They would just have to fix the mountain around it. So
Look at that, Danny. That's a crazy picture right there. Damn. I didn't know they did this Disney Parks blog. Matterhorn turned 65. This was done June 14th of last year. Wow. Damn. I still can't believe like all these changes the Matterhorn has endured, you
you
know?
can't believe that the buckets used to go through the Matterhorn.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's crazy. Sheesh. What a cool experience back then to go in the buckets. Buckets. Um, Last question about Matterhorn. They were selling the sipper. They had the Abominable Snowman sipper with the arm. Do you think this closure that we have is unexpected? Just kind of popped out
I
of
think
nowhere?
so. I think so. I think it was out of necessity. They probably saw um, a piece a piece of the facade near a water feature that was going to become a problem or could become a problem, and they didn't want to risk it, so they closed it. I doubt they would want this attraction closed right now during this
Yeah,
time,
the
right?
70th. Like the worst time. Oh man, so crazy. Say instead of save the clock tower, save the Matterhorn. Save the Matterhorn. Oh man. I want to open up to Q&A. If you guys have any questions, topics, advice, tips, whatever, post in the comments right now. We'll get to as many as we can. Would love to have a conversation with everybody in the chat. I don't even know how many people we got in here. 406. Let's go. So post in the comments if you have any questions, topics, uh, fun things you guys want to talk about. Post in the comments right now. Let's get to as many as we can. Once the Pisces that fell during cleanup 2 years ago, they have to slowly fix the Matterhorn. Uh, well, I hope it's here for a long time. I don't ride the Matterhorn very often, but I do enjoy it. It's just like Disney, like it's so iconic, and that's how we get all the characters flying over the castle, like Tinkerbell and Baymax. Um, they don't want what happened at Dodger Stadium and have a piece of concrete break and hit someone. Yeah, I still can't believe that happened at Dodger Stadium. Uh, Noah, have you guys seen the new Tapestry of Happiness show for the 70th?
We have.
Yes, loved it. Loved it.
Loved it.
I honestly feel like it's like the best show we've had in a long time from a projection aspect. Um, I wish it was a fireworks show. That's how I feel. That's how much I enjoy it. I don't know what more to say. Did I miss the Challenge Trail T? I don't even know what you're talking about. I've heard stuff, but not any. Did something get posted recently? Uh,
Mm.
I didn't hype nothing up about challenge trail, but Real Mouse Media, what'd you hear? What'd you hear? Alberto, the Matterhorn was the ride I used when I first drew you guys. Dude, I still have my mom. I want to say she made a shirt out of that, and it's like one of her favorite shirts. I have it on my phone still, Alberto. Let me see if I could post it, if I could find it. I think I have it as a favorite.
I remember that photo.
Yeah, I think I have it as a favorite. Dude, I have so many photos on my phone. It's insane. I wonder if I just like search cartoon. Let me see. Cartoon. Man, I got so much stuff. It's insane. It's going to take me a minute. I feel like it's going to take me too long. I have it on my phone, though. I could have sworn I had it as a favorite. Wow, I have just too much stuff. My gosh. Yeah, it's going to take me a little while. I got to see Tapestry of Happiness on Saturday, and it was seriously beautiful. I cried. No, it's beautiful. I totally agree. Totally agree. I wish Partysaurus Rex was the meet and greet. That is true. That I think it was Hong Kong. Yeah. Why didn't we get that, man? Literally partied up with Rex. Hey, Danny, which early entry will you go first? Five Nights at Freddy or Terrifier? I know the answer.
Freddy.
No way Danny's going to Terrifier. Not because like he doesn't like it, but it's Five Nights at Freddy. Dude, every kid that's in the 8 to 20 years old, they're all going to FNAF, dude. Everybody. Yeah. Everybody's going to FNAF. That early entry is going to sell out a lot. It's going to be very, very popular. My gosh. I got it. I got it. I found it.
Oh, he found it.
Hold on. I'll bring it up.
While he's bringing that up, Mondo, Hector Areola in the chat says, any news about the new attraction coming in the old Fast and Furious Supercharged location?
Hitting the Matterhorn. I don't even know how to spell Matterhorn, Danny. Is Matterhorn 2 T's?
2 T's.
Okay, I got it. You know what's funny? I'm wearing the shirt that's like let me see. Oh my gosh, I gotta go to my here we go. All right, this is from Alberto. Look at that. Oh, dude, look at the hand. We got the hand right here.
Oh, the monster's reaching after me.
Dude, that's the last time I did the Matterhorn right there. What was the question again, Danny? Say it again.
Any news about the attraction that's coming to the old Supercharged location?
Nothing. Recently, there was waits on a studio tour, and everybody is like, oh, they're testing weights and the suspension for whatever gets rethemed in the Supercharged and blah, blah, blah. Nope. As far as I heard, the reason there was waits is because we're going to get a new electric tram that's going to be added to the fleet. So they're just doing that process. Nothing on Supercharged. It's really, the early speculation, it's really sounding like How to Train Your Dragon, dude. For whatever reason, How to Train Your Dragon. But who knows? Maybe it just sits there for many years. I hope if it is a retheme, I hope it's fast. It's just screens, right? If Mega Movie Summer begins June 13th, why are they selling all TGE merch and food already?
He's just, I think he meant to say, why are they selling all the merch and food already? That's just the way Universal goes. They start selling the food early. They start selling the merch early. They aren't one to, I mean, look how early they started selling Super Nintendo Land merch. It was like
4 months
so
before, like four, maybe
it's
even
just
more,
that
honestly.
it's just the way that Universal does their stuff. That's just how they are.
Yeah, yeah. Um, with it being Jaws 50th, do you think HHN will do something for it on the Terror Tram? I'm gonna say no. I think Universal doing something is the summer event where they have Hollywood and Dying theme to it. They brought the big Jaws shark right behind. There's going to be characters. There's 2 characters coming that are from the Jaws universe. So I don't think HHN will have Jaws anything. Uh,
So going along the lines, Mondo, of last week's Speculation Sunday, we have a question from Michael's Life Adventures who says, "What old Magic Mountain ride would you want to ride? Would it be that monorail? Would it be what are you feeling?
man,
Are you trying to ride? Are you trying to ride Flashback? Are you trying to ride the Drop Tower? What are you
no,
trying
not
to
the
do?
drop tower. Hell no, not the drop tower. Uh, old Six Flags Magic Mountain rides. I'm just curious, like, what comes up when I search that? I'm not too in the know of like Six Flags Magic Mountain
Oh,
ride.
Deja Vu was my one of my favorite rides ever.
Yeah,
I love Deja Vu. It still
hey, it
exists
was
to this
here a
day.
long time. It was here a long
Yeah,
time.
it still exists. They sold it to another park. I forgot which one.
Hey everyone, and Harold.
Let me see. Deja Vu. Damn,
Mm-hmm.
look at this. This is a video. Six Flags Magic Mountain. Gone but not forgotten rides from Mighty Ride Junkies. This is literally what we're talking about right now. Let's see. What do we got here? Maybe they're a little too old for us. Let me see. Yep, that ride. What the heck is this?
A toboggan roller coaster.
That was at Six Flags? Mm,
Oh God, Cyclone. That was a terrible ride. Oh my God.
yeah?
Yeah, that ride.
Now
Oh
we
my God,
move
that
on
ride
to a
was
ride
so
that
Oh,
bad.
this is the one that you talked about that was loud.
Yeah, that's Flashback.
Wait, there was a different ride that I showed?
The wooden ride that you were just showing was
Oh,
horrendous.
uh, not Apocalypse?
Oh, Apocalypse. It was called something before Apocalypse though. Like it was called something before
make
and then
it
they changed it to
run.
Apocalypse.
Oh, it was changed to that?
Mm-hmm.
Every time I do a wooden ride, I can't help but think of, what's it called? I can't help but think of Ghost
There's
Rider.
Deja Vu. There's Deja Vu.
This is it right here?
Mm-hmm.
Deja Vu don't exist, right?
No.
Not at our theme park.
Nope.
Damn. Deja Vu. What's this one?
Deja
And
Vu.
touch the track.
Oh, this one is it. Dude, look at this ride vehicle action, dude. Damn.
Well, you have to remember,
Is
Mondo,
that
it
for
was
the chin
lifting.
or something? What the hell?
Well, no, it was lifting you up like Boomerang at Knott's Berry Farm, but
Yeah.
it's doing it vertically. So all of your weight is resting on that seat. Everything. You're just hanging from the you're hanging from the over the shoulder restraint because you're being lifted up vertically like this.
I gotta see a ride through. Deja Vu, Six Flags, Magic.
And then the worst part, Mondo, is you would go when you came backwards, you would go through the station, right? Just like Boomerang did. But then you'd go up the vertical tower, and then it would go halfway up the vertical tower, and then it would catch. So then everyone would just slam into the shoulder restraint, and you're like, oh, that thing better be holding me because all my weight's just going down on the over the shoulder restraint.
What?
So
Hold on, I think I found it right through. This one. This is a old, very old. Uh, This is Coaster Crutchfield. Does he get on? Wait. This thing goes up like that's how it starts?
Yeah, it's like boomerang. It goes up vertical.
Oh. Damn. Deja vu.
Yeah, does he go on, Mondo? Does he go on?
I don't know if he goes on. I don't think he goes on.
You gotta do POV.
Yeah, I didn't click POV. Let me click POV. POV. All right. I'm just trying to get like an old one, you know, get that old 15 years ago. Deja vu. The coaster views. So credit the coaster views.
So you're going up vertical. All your weight, Mondo's on that over the shoulder.
So you're just hanging. Dude, I don't even know if you could enjoy that. It's just so hard. I'm gonna go with the monorail. I wish I could ride the monorail. I'm gonna keep it simple. The monorail. It's so unique. Is there a ride for you, Danny, that you wish like I could just ride it one more time?
Honestly, it's probably Deja Vu for me because I rode that so many times and I loved going on it. And whenever I remember on the last week's show, I would talk about how we would go to Six Flags as a family every single year. Typically for me, I would rope drop the park when we went, and I would rope drop. I'm one of the weirdos that likes Viper, so I would rope drop Viper, or I would rope drop Deja Vu. Because Deja Vu, the thing with Deja Vu is only one car can go right at a time, and it takes forever for them to load it. And there's like so many safety things in place because like how that ride is tall. Like those towers are like almost 200 feet tall. So like the ride was humongous. Like you would see it from all over the park. And so the lines were just it would get like 3 hours for Deja Vu because it could only run one train at a time, and they would have to like load it, and then it would go through, and then it would be done, and then you'd have to like the next car would go through, and it wasn't really like very high capacity. So it would like if you didn't ride it first thing in the morning, like just don't try to ride Deja Vu later.
So at that time, Viper was like the other cool thing.
No, it just was for me. I always liked Viper. I'm 6'3", so
What
I don't.
was Viper smoother back then?
No, it's never been smoother. But the thing is, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'3", so the problem that people have with Viper is that the over-the-shoulder restraints are really oversized. They're not like conforming to your shoulder. But I'm tall, so when I'm sitting in Viper, the shoulder restraints are very snug against my shoulders, which is very below the side of my head and my ears. Whereas with most people who ride Viper,
Right here.
the over the shoulder restraints are right here, and so they're banging their head into the
Oh.
sides of the car. And then if you're a woman or a man who's wearing earrings, then you're also banging your earrings into the side of your head.
I've seen people bleeding on the ear.
Yeah, so like that's a whole other thing in and of itself. So but I never had that issue with Viper. So, and I always liked Viper because it was like relentless, right? It had it still has the most inversions.
Yeah, dude, it never ends. It never ends.
Yeah, it has 7 inversions in it. So, and I don't think any other rides in the park have more than that. Still.
If my neck never hurt after that ride, I would ride it more. Even being a bigger person, I fit no problem on that ride. Where is this? Let me see. I'm just going through the chat. I had one highlighted. Where'd it go? Here we go. Eddie, uh, me being a big Simpson fan, do you think Universal Studios Hollywood would give us Treehouse of Horror for FanFest or HHN?
I think the fans have asked for this many years, and it would never happen.
And
At
they
this
know
point,
that. Universal knows the fans want it.
yeah, they know the fans want it. At this point, if
It's
if
over.
if Simpsons is already on its way out, it's definitely not coming.
It's over. Let me show you something, Danny. Look at this video. Look at this video. This is from Universal High. So, right here to the right, that's where the Simpsons signage is. ¡Afuera! ¡Afuera! You can't even take a picture anymore, Danny, with the Simpsons sign. Can you believe that? And I don't know if you heard the video. Let me play it again. Simpsons Land's days are numbered. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I don't think Simpsons is long for this world, at least at Hollywood. And it is what it is. Disney owns it now, you know? What are your thoughts on that, Danny? Because I know you have this barely got posted not that long ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it makes sense, right? They've got to build the exterior cues, the theming around the roller coaster. I'm sure there's probably going to be a permanent fixture show car that's incorporated somehow in front of the ride. Whether that's a ride vehicle that's like permanently out front as like a showpiece, or if it's an actual like, Dom Toretto's like Challenger. Because, I think some of the people online were saying that the ride vehicle, even though it's camouflaged, looks like Dom Toretto's Charger. So that's cool if it's like they're all like that, or if they're all different cars. So there's a lot of work they got to do in front of it, and up until this point, the walls were pretty much right up against that building, and so they need to spread out a little bit, right? They got to spread out and start building the stuff exteriorly that they're gonna need for the rides, entrance, and all that other stuff. So, um, and who knows? Maybe there's even like a little. I just think, Mondo, that the little food shop that has like a butterfat ice cream or whatever the heck,
Gone.
and Luigi's. I feel
Gone.
like that's
Duck
like
beer. Gone.
that's poised to be like turned into something related to Fast and the Furious as far as food is concerned, like
It's coming.
a beer, a bar, something like that.
Yeah, almost like just LA theme, right?
Because we're
I
getting
feel
to the point now, Mondo, that like we're getting to the point where 2026 is still far, and like the ride's basically done. So like there's a lot more that they're working on, that would cause it to be delayed. You know what I mean? And like the
yeah.
ride's just not it, because that's basically done. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Butterfat's ice cream, Luigi's, Duff's beer, that like a taco, that taco truck thing, all numbered. All days are numbered. Probably re-themed more than anything, but yeah, it's not long for this world. Simpsons is not long for this world. That's gonna be kind of sad, huh, Danny? Where like Simpsons shut down, and there's probably no plans on the Simpsons ride, Simpsons restaurant, Simpson characters in a theme park setting. There's nothing. Disney ain't gonna do it, right? Maybe it comes.
is there still the
Kinda.
outside of the millennial generation and older, is there still hype around this, or would there be more hype for Universal to double down into something like SpongeBob? Because SpongeBob, I
Or
feel like
Harry
is getting
Potter. More Harry
I feel
Potter.
like SpongeBob is getting a huge resurgence. So if they want to stick with something wacky like that, that would be something that would carry them into the next generation very well. Um,
Or more
And
Shrek. More
they can
Shrek.
still do burgers. They could do Krusty Burger. They can do, they can still do all the stuff that they want to do with SpongeBob. So,
Yeah. Well, what do you think is like the number one brand for the younger crowd right now? Like, is there something TV show or movie that's just
well, they're starting to
like
get
what
into
the TikTok generation? That's what I'm trying to say. The TikTok. What is the TikTok generation into?
well, the the Gen Z, like the elder Gen Zs, the ones that are a little bit older now, they are starting to, go into the phase that we went into, where we were nostalgic for the things of our past. And the things of our past were like the Goofy movie and the um like all the Disney Renaissance movies, like
Look,
Little
Danny,
Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast.
the Gen Z is currently interested in Y2K fashion. Buy now,
Yeah.
pay later. Yeah, buy now, pay later. Pfft, that's taking over like ridiculous. They're also drawn to vintage clothes, just what you were saying, light colored woods and design, increasingly focused on sustainability, racial justice, financial well being. What is this? Let me see if I could put movies. No, shows. What are they into? I love how we're asking this AI. They're into Netflix, YouTube. They're into The Office, Rick and Morty, Stranger Things, Friends. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I would say too, like they're also into
Outer.
as far like they're
What the hell's
hugely into
that?
SpongeBob, like when it comes to their nostalgia, like SpongeBob is nostalgic for them. And then also things that are nostalgic for them are like the Hannah Montanas, the High School Musical, like that's their nostalgia. So like they are very much into that too. Um so like I feel like the SpongeBob presence. We already have SpongeBob over at Universal Orlando, and it does really well there. So
I'm asking like what's nostalgic for Gen Z? 90s grunge, Y2K. Why is Y2K styles? That's like a term these days. Gilmore Girls, Friends, Harry Potter, uh, silly bands, Bionicles. What the hell are we talking about here? I don't know what this is. I was just asking Google. Um, Gen Z is into our ish because 90s, 2000s were the best. I couldn't even name you the top 10 songs right now. Like, I'm just curious. Top 10 songs right now. Let's see what comes up. What are the top 10 songs? I'm just curious. I haven't looked this up. What I Want by Morgan Wallen featuring Tate McRae. Just in Case by Morgan Wallen. Wow, Morgan Wallen's just dominating. 3 songs right here. Ordinary by Alex. What? All this Alex. Oh no, that's a different person. Okay. I was like, what? Alex Warner. Have you heard this Ordinary song, Danny?
mm-mm.
Yeah, me neither. I never even heard of Morgan Wallen. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm just gonna listen to whatever this is.
Morgan Wallen is country.
Oh, it's country. Wow, that's number
Yeah.
one. That's that's random. Don't Say You Love Me by Jin. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. I know who that is. I know who Billie Eilish is. Back to Back to Friends by Sombre. Yeah, I never heard these songs. I have to say, I never heard these songs. I've been listening to Linkin Park a lot lately. I've been listening to Daft Punk lately. Around the world, around the. That song just stuck in my head. What have you been into lately, Danny, music wise?
Um,
Like, what's been
I've
in
just
your
kind of been
playlist?
all, kind of been all over the place. A lot of SZA. Like I like SZA a lot.
Coco's been
Um,
listening to that too.
I love SZA, and some Kendrick, some been getting back into Taylor Swift because of like being able to listen to the old music again. So
Yeah.
that was a huge deal. Listening to the old versions of the songs are just so much better on some of them. And then I don't know, I kind of like there's also been this band called that I got recommended on my playlist called
Yeah.
The Strike.
Okay.
And I don't know, I've never heard of them before, but now I like their music. So they're good.
Strike.
It's very like 80s, like The Strike. It's called like a bowling, like The Strike.
Let me see. I just want to put it on my playlist. The Strike. All right, I got it. What's like a
But
good
yeah,
song by
sometimes
The Strike? I wish that
does
you would.
does Coco like since Coco likes SZA, does she also like Jhené Aiko?
I think so. Yeah, she's always because she puts all that in my playlist when I'm driving, so I have all these songs I never heard of.
Yeah, because sometimes when like Jhené Aiko, SZA, like they just put you in like a good mood. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like just a playlist of those two would like set the mood right.
All right, Danny. Final thoughts, and let people know one more time about all your content coming. Just
Yeah,
fire it
yeah.
down.
Um, it's there's a lot of stuff on the horizon, right? Like we've been talking about. There's the July 17th right around the corner. But there's a lot of stuff in general going on at Disneyland that we are able to document, right? They are really ramping up construction over at Avengers Campus. Hopefully Mondo and I could get there this week because they have some big changes, especially if you're on the Cars Land side looking into Avengers Campus. You're just seeing sight lines you've never seen because they're just working so fast on this. So, when Josh tomorrow said they were really going to prioritize moving forward with this, they are really putting like their words to action here and going forward with that. So, um, we'll see probably some construction walls expand into Avengers Campus further than they are now. Mondo and I talked about that last time we were in there. We're going to see the Earl of Sandwich close in downtown Disney. There's so much construction still going on in downtown Disney with Arthur and Sons and all that stuff. So there's still a lot going on at Disney that's changing that we'll keep an eye on. We have the Knott stuff coming up. So there's a lot of things on the horizon. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, some more HHN announcements that we can discuss or, just continue to speculate on. And hopefully Mondo can
Because
see
the facades coming to life more.
yeah, hopefully since when the facades start coming to life, if we get a clear winner on which one's going to be like Freddy Fazbear Pizza, like that's going to be the one that we know. Then we can definitively say it's at least going to be a walkthrough. Right
Yeah.
now we don't even know if it's going to be a walkthrough for sure. So that's kind of I'm hoping that Mondo can get some updates like that, and we have like we know for sure that it's going to be that.
Let me ask this real
I was
quick,
just
Danny.
thinking too, Mondo. Like they always Universal. You know how they do. They love any reason to sell you pizza on the lower lot and theme it to whatever's going on. How easy is it for them to sell Freddy Fazbear Pizza like they did the Surfer
Surfer
Boy or
boy.
whatever it was
Yeah.
for It's gonna be so easy for them to sell a little, and then they
Same
would have
thing.
huge lines for people to have Freddy Fazbear
I had the
Pizza.
Freddy Fazbear Pizza.
Yeah, it's gonna
Million
be
views. TikTok.
it's gonna be insane. Like, just they're gonna sell so much food. They're gonna sell so much
Merch.
merch.
Everything.
It's gonna be nuts.
Express. RIPs. All that. They're gonna sell it all.
Before we go, real quick, Mondo, do you see just really quick before we go, like if we do get Terrifier, do you see that one of the VIP like photo ops being like a photo op with Art the Clown in like their photo op area?
100%. 100%. It would suck if you don't. Because a photo op with Art the Clown is very unique. That's not a common thing at all. It would be cool, man. I hope. It'd be cool if they rotate it. You get Freddy Fazbear, you get Art the Clown, possibly a WWE character for all we know. I hope they rotate it, and it's not just one character, but just every 30 minutes you get somebody else or people from Scare Zones too. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I think there's really cool stuff on the horizon.
And I think we'll leave a little meat on the bones for next Speculation Sunday so we can talk more about some of the rumors surrounding the Terra Tram. I know we're hearing that maybe it's a full Megan takeover for Terra Tram. There's a whole new storyline for Megan 2 where she becomes the hero in the story and is no longer the villain. And they could turn the whole Terra Tram experience into like a Megan battle, which is what the movie is. So that could be something that's what's rumored right now. But we'll save some meat on the bones for that on the next discussion.
Also, too, next week or this week, I want to talk about the future of Redwood Creek Challenge Trial. It seems like some people really want to hear about that, and we'll throw our meat on the bone of what we've heard and speculate, and it does seem like stuff might happen. So
yeah, Junior was asking if I'm gonna do Frequent Fear. Now that we have 5 nights, I already told Mondo like I definitely want to try to do Frequent Fear this year. So the only problem is that I'll have to like every time I go to Halloween Horror Nights, I'll have to like go see a movie at AMC because I don't have a pass to Universal, so I wouldn't want to pay like $35 every time to park. So
hey, watch a movie and Horror Nights? That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
yeah, it doesn't sound bad at all. So, but yeah, as
And
far
there's a
as
lot
my
of good
upcoming
movies coming. A lot of good movies coming.
yeah. And as far as my upcoming content, I have a new video coming out tomorrow. Just some updates at Disneyland, and then I have a new podcast episode coming out on Thursday. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel Just Ask Danny and all my social medias. I'll post it on all the social medias so you know when it's live, so that you can get to it. And stay tuned for more stuff.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Danny. Incredible, incredible speculation Sunday on a Monday. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I appreciate all your support. Thank you for everything. I know we're doing it on a Monday, not normal day, which is Sunday. So thank you for taking time out of your Monday. I appreciate everybody. We got lots of things on the horizon, like Danny's saying, and we're going to be covering it all. Things are going to get really juicy everywhere. It seems like June 13th is the big day. So stay tuned for Danny's YouTube, my YouTube. And I want to be back at Disney very soon and do another live stream and watch Paint the Night again because I miss it. I miss Paint the Night. I miss Wondrous Journey. And I miss Fantasmic in its busted form that it is right now. But thank you, Danny. Thank you, everybody. Smash the like button. Let's all hit the like button before you get on out of here. And that's going to be all for today. We are firing it down. The Cali Bay, Just as Danny, are calling it a day. I'm the main host, Mondo.